I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration. They make ladies see the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that likes the dark, so that you can find your left and right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, in the glow that lets you know the target of the sun. The story that we become, the promise of what's to come, and I will remain a soldier till the war is won.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we are back at the Strasburg Rail Road today, and behind me here is newly restored SW7 number 1235. She's currently undergoing some idling tests right now, and then running tests will proceed from there, and she'll be one of Strasburg's 2 operating diesel locomotives on the railroad.
Operating on the line today is ex-CNR E10A number 89, following the traditional excursion between East Strasburg Station and Paradise, Pennsylvania. We were lucky enough to catch the locomotive sporting 2 distinctive whistles, a Crosby 3-chime and a Baltimore and Ohio 3-chime, giving the locomotive a more expressive sound.
So with that being said, let's see what we can get up to today on the road to Paradise.
As 89 and the train get ready to head out of town, I'd like to quickly mention that, like with the whistles, the consist you see will change as we shop the railroad over 2 days. Heading outbound now, we leave behind the 1235 to head down to Gross Grove, where we catch the train descending down the gradient towards Cherry Hill Station. Coasting into the valley now, we make it to Carpenter's Crossing, where the train is brought to a brief stop as the engineer performs the ghost whistle on the Crosby 3 chime. The echo surrounds us in the valley, giving the imagery that a responding locomotive is answering number 89. As we arrive at Leman Place Junction, the train stops and number 89 is detached from the east end of the consist, and then it proceeds to run around, with the crew waving at the smiling passengers aboard, before tying onto the west end of the train in preparation for the trip back to East Strasburg Station. While number 89 isn't the go-to choice of locomotive for the longer trains on the Strasburg Rail Road, you did get the nice benefit out of hearing her work the loaded-down train behind her. Which leads me into advising you to turn up your volume here for the Grossgrove shot, as the bark and whistle sound off of the valley really emphasizes my point here, if you want, of course. As we get into the more flat open farmlands, number 89 and the train start cruising up the grade, past Esmond Shade Road. Setting up at J Tower, we catch the train pulling back into the station to deboard passengers on the platform and then board a new set of passengers for another trip on the road to paradise. Something I don't think I've ever explained on the channel is how Strasburg properly uncouples and runs around the locomotive at East Strasburg Station. This was all showed and explained to me by conductor Matt Himmelberger. Basically, he cuts off air between 89 and the train via the angle cock on the back of the locomotive, then heads up to the dump valve on the back of Marion, where he dumps the train, preventing air between 89 and the train. And as you watch the locomotive go to pull away here, you see that the air hoses do not make that loud popping sound that you may be well acquainted with, because there's no air built up between them. One of those neat life tricks that you learn or see at many tourist railroads around the country.
Alright guys, so with that being said, thank you all for watching the video today. Special thanks to the Strasburg Railroad and everybody else here that made this video possible. Special thanks to my father as well for taking me out here. Really appreciate his help. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.